Do we want a fourth child?
That's the one you started?
Keep it saucy. Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. Today we're doing a cook and chat with me, something new. I think it'll be fun. So we are cooking with Home Chef tonight. This is our like 6th time ordering from them, but like our 12th meal or so. We get a bunch of meals every time. You can use the code in my description box to get $30 off of your first order. Make sure to check them out. Super easy. They deliver it to your door. You pick out your meals each week from a long list of delicious meals. We are gluten-free and we're still able to eat from there. So anyway, let's get started. So for this meal, you are going to need some butter, garlic cloves, some russet potatoes, parsley, green beans, 12-ounce sirloin steaks, as well as truffle oil. Do we get the steaks out?
Yeah.
So before we get started, I asked you guys on Instagram using the like little questionnaire portion, like what you wanted us to talk about tonight. So stay tuned. It's going to be funny and interesting. So Chris is going to go ahead and like get the sirloins ready. This is for a family of 4. I've already preheated my oven to 400 degrees. So what is the next step? We're setting the butter out to get it softened. And now I'm going to cut the potatoes into 1/2-inch sticks, which should be interesting. Let's see how this goes. Got the steaks ready. Chris is going to pat them dry, salt and pepper them. And I started to cut my potatoes for the, how do you say it again?
Fritz?
I watch so much Food Network, you would think I would know
That's true.
how to pronounce any of this stuff. I'm sure our viewers will correct us. So this is how I cut them so far. I saved one to be able to kind of show you. I don't know if you can see here. So honey, let's get started on the question.
All right.
Do we want a fourth child?
That's the one you started?
Keep it saucy. But trust me, it gets way saucier.
I mean, our kids are amazing, so it's never like
okay?
a question of whether a fourth would like throw us over the edge or something like that. To me, it's.
I think we're over the edge already.
I feel over the edge. I feel pretty complete right now. We talked about it, and we talk about it all the time. I think Ella would love to have a sister because your relationship with Crystal is so close. And
If it works that way, and you can just like choose the sex of your child.
Yeah.
But you can't unless you have like embryos, which we don't. But it's okay, Princess. She's like, I want a sister. I think she's saying she wants a sister.
Yeah.
My
I think
sister
she also
is my
might just
best
want to
friend.
be the baby and the only little girl and spoiled.
You never
and
know. And I
never
really,
have to fight for dad's attention. You know,
I think, well, I know that the boys are so obsessed with her, and my goal in life is to have my children be so close. I know it's easier said than done, but we are going to try everything in our power to create a very close, like, tight family. Don't you think, honey?
Yeah. So that's why I feel like
we have amazing families, but we're not like, we're close, but not like the closeness that I want with my children. Like, I want to get a party bus for my children's 21st birthdays. Like, I want to be a part of everything, you know?
So what do you say? Back to the original question. 3 is plenty?
I think that you never know. Right now, I feel really complete, but we felt the same way after Tanner.
I'm definitely not going to be trying when Ella turns 6 months. Or
I've never made it to Carter's first birthday or Tanner's first birthday without being pregnant. So I know for a fact, well, I don't know for a fact, but I don't see me being pregnant at, I'm making them drink, at Ella's first birthday. All right, so I got my French fries cut up. Wait, they're not French fries, the other word. What do I do now? Place potato sticks on a baking sheet and toss with truffle oil to taste. Honest to God, I've never had truffle oil, but I always watch like on Chopped and Food Network and stuff. They're like, oh gosh, she's got the truffle oil. That's not a good thing, so I'm kind of nervous. This one's really big.
Ella wanted to say hi.
sweet pea. Okay, so I used 2 baking sheets for the potatoes because if you overcrowd your baking sheet, you're just gonna get mush instead of like crispiness. So we did that. Now we just need to do a little bit of truffle oil, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of scared. I never had it before. It just smells good.
It's kind of garlicky, right?
Is it because of the garlic here?
No.
It does kind of smell garlicky.
That's what I get from it. I don't know. What do I know?
Here we go.
One for one and one for the other. Just
I'll try to do just this. So, do that, put some salt, and the next question is, how do we keep our relationship
spicy.
Spicy, that's a good word, after 3 children?
Is that really the question, or is it?
Yeah.
How do we keep it?
How do we stay like romantic and stay like in love and a couple, not just roommates?
You
and
can start with that.
not just what?
Parents. What?
What do you think? Like, how do we?
I want to hear your answer.
No, I said my answer first before.
No, you didn't. Go back. Roll the tape. I just want to hear your answer first.
I have that truffle butter song stuck in my head, and I'm pretty sure that's like
Yeah,
a
that's
gross
good.
thing.
Not good.
How do we keep it spicy? Well, my goal is to have like a date night once a week. It doesn't always happen. I feel like we've been doing pretty good. It hasn't been like once a week, or maybe once every 2 weeks or something. But you just need like time to be just you two.
We had our day date, and then we had our
day
date Saturday night.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, basically, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, to me, if you go out together and you end up talking about the kids or about work or about whatever else, because, you know, like, that is your life, and that's what you're going to talk about.
Plus, we don't really get time to say a word to each other, like, without
just
mommy, daddy.
Being out together, away from, you know, a TV or away from any other distractions, laundry and that kind of stuff. Like, just actually spending time talking to each other, listening to each other.
I gotta put these in the oven. It's preheated to 400.
Is important, and then, you know, the more wine you drink on that date night,
or margarita on the rocks and salt.
or margarita, better chances of it continuing to be spicy later that night.
Wow, honey.
What?
You're trying to say you need to drink to...
I'm saying it almost always lends that way, so sorry, Grandma. But the question I thought you were going to say is how we, you know, are so, like, keep our relationship fresh in other ways.
That was also on there.
I think, you know, obviously communicating and putting each other first. I think we always answer that question the same way, and it's because it's the truth. I don't think there's a day that Tiffany ever thinks about, like, her priorities before mine, and vice versa. I never wash my fingers with that knife.
That's what you said.
I never ever put, you know, my interests, hobbies, or, you know, things that I have, you know, wanting to do around the house or something like that before her or the kids. So, you know, when you feel appreciated by the other person and know that they care about what you want, that's what I think ends up
I also
making
think
everybody happy.
that just like kind of why, like our channel, like you just say it how it is and say it how it truly feels. We never keep things, and we never have kept things from each other. If you're pissing me off, I'm gonna tell you you're pissing me off, and like that. We like always just say exactly how we're feeling, and in the nicest way possible. We never disrespect each other. Like, we always respect each other. That's huge. So respect and communication.
It's going to come out one way or another. I mean, if you bottle it up, you're just going to bring it up like, you know, how you felt 2 weeks ago, and then by that point it's like nothing can be done about it. So
I can also honestly say, like, we never put each other down or call each other names. We always just like lift each other up, and I just think that's like a horrible way, like it's a horrible thing to do to your relationship, is to call each other names or put each other down. And we've been together 9 years now, and I can honestly say we've never called each other names or anything. So that's
No.
just not how it
I
is.
didn't like jokingly because it's stupid. It's not funny.
I also
I
think the worst thing I ever did was like when he pissed me off before we like lived together and stuff. I would just like ignore his phone calls and hang up on him and stuff.
Yeah.
But that was the 21-year-old Tiffany.
Lay awake and cry.
Probably. Hey, but you did something right. You got me.
You did something right too.
I did. We are going to do like the story of us on our Beaston Family Vibes channel.
How do you guys feel about that name, by the way? I like it.
I love it. It just feels like us.
Yeah.
Like vibes, like good vibes.
That's right.
So I don't want to go too much into that because a lot of it is like asking about like how we met and everything like that. I know there's like a million other questions. So right now I'm going to mix 3/4 of the butter. I'm saving this butter for the, what's it called? Green beans. But I'm going to mix this with garlic to taste. That's a lot of garlic.
Yeah, let's do later on that.
If both of our breaths smell like garlic, it cancels each other out.
That's true.
So I just looked on my Instagram to get more questions. One is from Bree, and it says, "What is your favorite thing about each other?"
You want to go first?
Yeah.
Alright. I would say, even though, you know, it is one of my favorite things about you, even though sometimes I have to reel you in a little bit, is like Tiffany is literally still 12 in many ways. Like if you drive past the carnival or something, like she nearly jumps out of her seat. Like she loves parades. She loves like anything that like a 10-year-old loves, she loves. And she's like so excitable and so like just genuinely loves the simple things in life. Like, you know, anything that brings her back to like a fun time, and you know, I appreciate it. And sometimes I'm like, you know, we can go to that parade, but it might not be how you remember it. And a lot of times it's not, but it will be once we can take the kids. But I just love
There was a time we tried to take Romeo to a parade.
There was a
I needed to go to the parade.
St. Patrick's Day parade, and
Yes.
he was like just deathly afraid of anything musical,
Miserable.
anything. Yeah, it was horrible. But I love how easily excitable she is about little things and how much she really appreciates the little things in life. What about you?
Where do I begin? This is parsley, not cilantro, don't you worry. And I hate your cilantro.
I feel like you're stalling.
Because I'm like trying to think of
Please don't cut yourself.
one of my favorite things about you has to do with me, and I don't want it to be like that. Do you know what I mean?
can be.
Like, one of my favorite things about you is like your ability to always like go with the punches and kind of, you always ground me. You know what I mean? But that's like to do with me. But that's also my favorite thing about your personality. Like, you know how to be chill, but at the same time, sometimes you're the anxious, like you get stuff done, and then I'm the chill one. So we're always like half and half. But I say this without being a complete cornball. I love the way that you love me, and I love the way that you love our kids, and like
With the pound of butter in your hands.
your priorities. Paula Dean it up right here. I love your priorities. But I don't know how to like.
I also like how you're goal oriented and love to see things in front of you on a vision board to reach your goals, and
This helps me.
never
My brain is
never
so
quit
cluttered.
until you get there. She's like pitbull, relentless, always going after it. So what was another one?
I love your abs and your eyes and your butt.
All physical traits.
But you are the sweetest human in the world, and everyone knows that. I really love that about you.
Thanks, honey. What else?
I still feel bad about mine, because I feel like it's like,
You shouldn't.
About-
You'll think that you'll wake up and you'll think.
well,
that-
I literally love everything about you. I wouldn't change anything about you. I wouldn't.
Okay. I'm gonna use the big pan.
Because we're going to do all four, right?
Yeah. Tiff said this is the man's job. just putting steaks on the hot
Well, it's
pan.
nice and hot. I just feel like it's manly, especially when you use your fingers.
So another question that was asked is...
No.
Ew.
Flavor tone. How long do you sear on each side?
So we're just gonna let these sear for about 5 to 7 minutes. It's probably gonna be pretty loud, so I'm gonna stand in front of it. I'm just gonna come over here. What's another question? Do we ever plan on moving? I like our house. I think for me, there's little things like the freshness of a new house. You know, if we were to move, I think we would want new construction just because we want something that
100%. I'm not moving unless it's new construction.
is all ours. You know, that we know that we're the only ones that have ever spilled in there. I'm sure there'll be a lot of those. And we'd like to kind of design things to make it so that it would fit our needs. But this house right now is pretty perfect.
It's perfect for us. We just spent a ton of money redoing our kitchen.
We're in a great neighborhood. We love our neighbors.
I don't know.
It's hard. I mean, there's no rush, that's for sure. If something we absolutely love came available, then we'd consider it.
We also don't know about location. There's nothing really tying us to this spot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't plan on quitting my job. I love my job too. If I could be home more with the family, that would be great, but we're not really sure how that can happen. So right now I'm planning on staying at my job for the future, and you know, so I need to be close enough to that. If anything, maybe closer to that would be good.
Another thing was
just spend a lot of time traveling to work.
With the house situation, I grew up moving all the time, and it made me honestly feel like crap. I hated moving, and so this is our first home. We had an apartment, and then we had a condo. And I always said, when we buy a house, it's our forever home, because I don't want to put our kids through that. And get closer, because this steak is getting loud.
Yeah.
So, if we are going to move, I would want it to be, before the kids started school, unless we stayed in the same school district, because that was something growing up, that didn't feel good to me. And, like I said, new construction, because I would want that to be our forever home, and I've always wanted to design my own home. And that brings me to another question. People were asking, what were you like when you were younger? Both of us. You can go first.
I say this all the time, to be honest. We notice how incredibly sweet and empathetic and loving Carter is to little kids and his brother and sister, and I don't think I was like that at all. I mean, I've always been a very caring person, but I really, I cared about my friends and stuff like that. But other than that, I was into what I was into, sports and that kind of thing, and really didn't care at all about little kids or anything like that until probably, you can flip those, I think, until probably closer to I don't know, 5th or 6th grade, and I started, being more of a role model, and I always liked kind of being a role model to people that are younger than me. So, what about you? That's perfect. Look at that.
I don't know if you can see it, but it looks really good. It depends what age we're talking about. I was always a caring person, always stick up for the kid that was getting bullied. That was always me, but started at a young age. I always felt for other people. That's just how I am. But as a teenager, honestly, I would describe myself as, first of all, I worked since I was 13 years old. So I was always working, and I always got whatever I needed, my car insurance, my driving school, all that stuff. I worked so that I could pay for that stuff. But I will say, when I look back on my younger years, I feel I was always looking for my place to fit in, and I never felt I belonged, as sad as that sounds, but it's true. No matter what I did, sports, friends, I just never felt I belonged. And finally, at 30 years old, I feel like that, and I belong to my family and the life we created.
That's deep, babe.
But it's true, like that's, like when you think about when you were younger, like that's what I think about. Like I felt like I was like, not like a lost soul, but like.
Honestly, like, I started feeling that way somewhere around college. Like, I felt like I had almost different priorities than a lot of my friends, like, at one point, and then, you know, I realized I wanted to have a family and settle down time sooner than a lot of my friends, so.
How old were we when we got married? I was 25, right?
Yeah, I was like 29.
Yeah.
28, 29.
And then we got pregnant the next month.
Yeah, then we had Carter when I was 30. No, wait, I don't know.
You turned 30 after we had Carter.
Right.
Because remember I got you this horrible birthday gift that you hated?
She got me like Jeopardy board games.
I tried to do like keep you
like,
young, buy fun
you're
games.
Getting old. You need to be good at Scrabble and.
Well, just like how I get excited about carnivals and stuff, I get excited about like fun games and stuff. And
I can't wait for that too. Like to be able to play. This probably wasn't a question, but it doesn't matter. Things I look forward to with our family are stuff like being able to sit around the table and play board games together, playing stupid little card games, Uno, going on weekend, you know, soccer tournament trips, like maybe dance recitals for Tanner.
Yeah.
I know. Whatever our kids are into, I want us to be like fully into and be the team parents and support them and just have a good time rather than being like, you know, we're getting dragged away, we have to go to our kids this or that. Actually embrace it and have fun with it.
Smells so good. I'm so hungry.
That's probably good. Do we put those additionally?
To do 5 to 5?
Yeah. But is that it, or do we?
I think that's it, but we're more of like medium well people.
Yeah.
Do we have any family vacations coming up? And we don't, but we really want to plan a getaway like sometime like in the dead of winter when you're like so tired of being in your house. We always say like to help us get through the winter.
Yeah, flying with 3 kids is definitely going to be a challenge. So if anybody out there wants to come with us and
we need a nanny.
Manage the kids on plane, that would be helpful. But I don't know, we have to get somewhere warm, somewhere probably in January or February before Tanner turns 2, so we don't have to pay for his seat.
He turns 2 in January.
Yeah, so.
Speaking of your birthday, his birthday is 11/11. I would say 11/11 I got my wish, but I have no idea what to get him, and you can never buy him anything because he doesn't want anything, and so that's why you got board games, alright? I don't know, a girl you can get like jewelry, like a girl always like wants something.
I don't need anything, nothing.
How do we budget?
I'm beyond spoiled. You can take that one.
I will take that one because that's a question we get often, and I try to budget our groceries like around $100 to $150 a week. I do that. I feel like I usually do a good job of that. Of course, Home Chef helps with that. Home Chef is around like $9.95 a meal. It's really like not bad when you think about all the stuff you put in your fridge and like waste constantly, because that's what happens to us. We have so much food waste that it's horrible. So something like Home Chef really like helps us. And then I feel like
it's good, healthy, good quality stuff too, which is nice.
Delicious. So good. Another thing is like we're not the type of people that want things. We want experiences. So like you're not gonna see us just like spending a ton of money for like $1,000 bags and stuff like that. It's just not us. Like it never has been us. We've never been that way. You would see me like spending money on a vacation with my family. Like that is just like something that I want. I will say I felt like super guilty. Like I just bought a bunch of new clothes. I shouldn't feel guilty because I work my butt off for what I have, but I'm also postpartum and I want to buy stuff that makes me feel good in my own skin. So I bought like a bunch of sweaters and jeans when they were on a 40% off sale. So that's just kind of.
I think honestly, the fact that we really ask ourselves, like we look in and wonder, like, okay, do we really need this? Are we going to use this? Like, is this that important? Almost like Kamari, but for buying stuff. Like, you know, we almost always talk ourselves out of something because you know,
And with the kids,
if you
like,
really want it, you get it.
know,
But if you don't, then you don't need to get it. And yeah, we don't buy the kids everything that they ask
because
for.
we're like, the last thing we need is another toy for them to throw across the room. Like, I just bought the boys a couple of things from Target for Christmas because they're having $25 off $100 right now. So like I try to do things like that because I know a few things that they want already. So basically just be smart and don't get stuff you don't really need. But it's really not hard, really not an issue for us.
No.
My big purge is, purge?
No.
That's when you get rid of stuff. My big,
Splurge?
Splurge, yes, that's the word I was looking for. My big splurge is getting myself iced coffee multiple times a week, and that's even from mostly Dunkin', which is cheaper than Starbucks. And I have the Dunkin' app, and I have the Drop app, so I'm thrifty with it.
So, yeah.
And a coupon.
Pays
Did you
for
see?
itself.
Did you see our
BJ's?
Our BJ's? That sounds really bad. Our BJ's trip, I saved $50 in coupons, so that's something.
It is something.
I'm just cooking the green beans down. So dinner was delicious.
We'll answer a couple more questions and then call it a night.
A lot of people were asking about the transition, like which was the hardest. And I think it was 0 to 1 was the hardest because we had no idea what we were doing.
0 to this one?
No. Kids.
0 to Carter.
Um,
Yeah, and like, no joke, like, definitely don't know what lack of sleep is until you have a kid. So I remember in the hospital with Carter, like, he would cry and I just, like, I didn't even know what to do. Like, just like, are you gonna get up and get him? And I was like, yeah, I just didn't even know what was going on. I'd never woken up to a crying baby before, because I never babysat or anything like that.
I remember
Never
thinking,
had
like,
younger
great,
siblings.
he's that kind of dad that does nothing for his children.
It took me a couple of weeks and then I
I
realized.
got him in shape.
Yeah, but yeah, I think definitely 0 to 1. 1 to 2 was super easy
1 to 2 was a breeze.
because we split all the duties.
Yeah, and then 2 to 3 was hard because just physically I had a lot of like recovering to do, and you have to lift 2 toddlers. And Ella was quite different. She always, I feel like she wasn't like a terrible sleeper. She's like how we're used to the boys, and they always woke up a lot from breastfeeding. You know, formula-fed babies tend to sleep a lot longer than breastfeeding babies. She's given us a few good nights, but I think our thing with her was that she was like a whole new thing with the jaundice. It was really hard being readmitted into the hospital. And then the spit ups, literally, that seems like, you know, like spit up is like such a common thing I know as a NICU nurse, but like my kids, like Carter and Tanner, never spit up. Like
Carter,
ever.
literally, I can think of one time after he ate,
my sister was like shaking him.
Up in the air. Yeah. Tanner, I feel like we thought he spit up a lot because he spit up like 4 or 5 times total ever. And then Ella came along and like every day was like 3 or 4 times at least, and
what is
going on?
Oh, stinker.
But we're getting a handle on it. I feel like 3 months is usually the time when you feel like you kind of hit your stride. We're only 2 months in right now, and
I feel like the hardest part right now is that she doesn't have her 2-month vaccines, and I'm not confident in taking them out by myself, mainly because Tanner is still like in that stage where they like really test you like on the playground and stuff. Like I'll just like go to the top of the swing, the slide, and like look like he's about to walk off.
They both have kind of selective listening. Like when they need to listen to what we're telling them, they do. But they're boys. They like to push their boundaries. All right, so I think I remember people want to know what shows we like to watch.
Oh yeah. So the ones that we're currently watching are
Beauty and the Beastons.
How to Get Away with Murder. We're up to date on that. We watched the new one last night. We caught up. This Is Us.
And I'll be honest, that's really not my favorite show. But
really?
I mean,
I get so into that one. Oh my gosh, and I just discovered Live PD. I love that. And what's sad is that it's nostalgic for me because I grew up watching Cops with my dad. I can't even imagine watching Cops with our kids, but
they'd be traumatized.
My parents were divorced and my
That's
dad
alright.
had me on the weekends. Dad, if you're watching this, you know we watch Cops all together. It's like one of the first songs I knew. Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do?
We didn't play that.
So I love live PD, even though I feel bad for the people.
I can't wait for Billions to come back.
That's a good one.
There's
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, that's supposed to not come back for a while.
Oh, really? I thought Stranger Things was coming back soon.
I don't think it is. And then there's one other one that we watched.
We just started watching that Doctor one. I'm still not sure how I feel about it. The Good Doctor?
No, it's called New Amsterdam.
Oh.
I've fallen asleep like through both of them, so I don't think I like it that much. But
Real Housewives of OC.
yeah, crazy.
You get into it. I feel like because I've been watching the Real Housewives of OC since like they came out, so like you kind of know them.
Yeah, Tamara was with her first husband.
Mm-hmm.
I just throw out a name there.
Sure, because that totally makes sense. I know you're into it.
What other questions? What's the hardest part about juggling it all for you?
For me, it's balance, of course. Like, I'll never have my balance. The one thing that I thought would be the hardest was like showing each kid individual love. But like, literally, we're just like a love fest all day long, so I don't feel like that at all. Like, I feel equally as close with all my babies. The only thing that annoys me is that Tanner is obsessed with Chris, and when Chris is around, like, I literally don't exist at all.
He's my
I'll
buddy.
be like, baby, and I'm like, eh, and like run over to you.
And I honestly feel bad because like I have to push Tanner away to get to Carter because Tanner wants me so bad, and like Carter, I can tell, like
Wants his daddy's attention too.
wants me too, and he gets a little bit upset but won't say it. So I have to like really force myself toward Carter, and that upsets Tanner. But what are you gonna do? I think probably the hardest part is still lack of sleep. Like there's not enough hours in the day, and
whoa, get it, girl. But you fall asleep right away when we get in bed, and for me as I don't know, a mom or just like this is the way I am not a morning person in any way, shape, or form. I never have been, even though Carter is 3 years old and I've been waking up at least at like 6 o'clock every day for 3 years. I'm still not a morning person.
You definitely don't wake up at 6 o'clock, but my alarm goes off at 6. I get in the shower right away, and then I usually get the boys, and then I try and let you sleep and get you up around 7 or so. Romeo's barking is out of control.
At night, like my mind just starts going, and then like I like finally have my me time.
She's grabbing my shoulder like this.
Oh, I finally have like my me time, and I'm like catching up on like YouTube videos and like reading the news and all the stuff you're not supposed to do before bed. That's my problem, but
it is about 9:45 already, and you have to pump, and I have to shower, and it's probably gonna be like 10 other tasks before then. We still have to clean up this dinner, some of it.
we cleaned up as we were going along. It's not too bad. So I hope that you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and also subscribe to our family channel, Beaston Family Vibes. I'll have that linked below. And also definitely check out Home Chef. It's delicious. Like I said, we've had it a million times. It's so easy to order. It's inexpensive. It's delicious.
And really easy. That was
easy,
very
yeah.
easy. And
it's fun to do. It's fun. Like I know that this is something that I look forward to doing with our children in the future, is like cooking together and having like new recipes to try, to add to the mix of food for the week. And of course there's a $30 code. So you can get $30 off of your Home Chef order with the code TiffanyB30. I'll link it on screen here, as well as put it in the description box for you. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed our little cook and chat with me. And let us know if you want to see more videos like this, or if you have any other ideas for videos.